So my plan was to film this video at my last festival, but we got rained out for the first day and a half and everything was like super crammed together, so just completely forgot about it, to be honest. And at the end of the day, like, filming this while I was at the festival just wasn't a priority. But I want to talk about, I think I'm gonna give you like 10 reasons why festivals are just so magical, whether you've been to them or you've kind of like looked and thought, oh well, that looks fun, you know, but I'm not sure. I'm a pretty seasoned festival goer, raver at this point. I've been doing it for about 13 years. I think I've gone to over 30 festivals at this point. So some people will say, oh, Sarah, you know, you're 30, you're too old for festivals. I will rave until I die, let me tell you. And after this video, you're going to want to as well. So buckle up if this is something. I know this isn't like really what my channel's about, but raving's like half my personality, and there's a lot of overlap between festivals and spirituality and self-development, honestly, and you'll see what I'm talking about as we go through this video. But it is really just something I'm so passionate about. Anyone in my personal life will tell you, like, I just love EDM music, I love raves, I love the entire beautiful culture that goes along with it. So I'm gonna step out of my comfort zone a little bit today and let you guys a little bit into my personal life. Well, I mean, I do that a lot, but you know what I mean. So the first reason that festivals are just so magical is that your inner child truly comes out. And I know I've talked about inner child in other videos, but it really is like the child within us. We all have the inner child within us, and when we get bogged down on the day-to-day things we have to do and responsibilities and all these people we have to answer to and working, just like all the everyday stuff, over time as we grow older, we tend to lose that connection to that inner child, that playfulness that we all have inside of us. And truthfully, I feel like the suppression of our inner child is one of the, and I know it sounds silly, but like, I think it's one of the biggest issues in society, because if we were all allowing our inner child to come out more often, then people would just be happier. And isn't that what this channel is all about? You know what I mean? Like, if you're new here, I'm Sarah, and I help teach people how to find inner happiness and peace through self-development and spirituality. And really, like, that's what this whole channel is about. And when you're at a music festival, and this video, like, I'm gonna be talking specifically about EDM, electronic dance music festivals. I've been to other ones too, where it's more of like mixed music, but there's something very different about the culture of EDM versus everything else. So moving forward, just in this video, that's what we're going to be talking about. A lot of these EDM festivals, not all of them, but a lot of them are set up to play. I'll insert a clip right here for what I'm talking about. This is called like the little, goodness, I'm having so many technical difficulties today. That's why I'm sitting in my front yard right now. Anyway, so this is called the Fun Box, and it's literally just a little tiny building they put together with all this cool stuff in it. And there's art galleries, there's playgrounds, there's like games that you can play. They had like a, I didn't go to it, but this, I'm talking about Elements Festival, which is the one I just came from, which is why my voice is like, woo! You should have heard the last few days, like once I got home. But they had like the little parachute thing you played with in elementary school. Like, they cater to your inner child, so you have all these things to play on, and swings, and just so many different things where you can just let that child out of you. And I just, that's the biggest part of it for me, is allowing myself to just play and being around all of my friends, and we're just playing like we're kids without like a care in the world, and it's so beautiful. Number two, and it kind of goes along with this, is now there's always going to be some bad apples everywhere you go, but it's really the biggest judge-free zone that I have ever experienced. And you really can't comprehend the level of what I'm talking about until you actually go to one. But people are so freely themselves at festivals, you know, whether it's the way they're acting, the way they're dressing, whatever they're doing, whatever they're immersed in, the music they're going to. Like, people are their true, authentic self. at festivals, and you can feel it when you're walking through the crowd, or you're at the campsite, or you're in the actual festival grounds. When you're looking around, you can just see who people are, like their essence, like their true essence, not all these masks we put on and, oh, well, I can't curse here and I have to act this way here and I have to do this when I'm around these people. Like, it's not like that. It's just the ultimate be free to who you are. And it's indescribable how beautiful it is to not only do that yourself and be who you are yourself, but also everyone around you is doing the same thing. It truly is like being back when you were like 4 or 5 years old, and you don't, almost like you don't know anybody, you don't know how to be anyone but yourself. You don't have to wear any of these masks because it's so raw and it's so authentic. Number 3 is, and not everyone does this, but most people do a little bit, and this is a big part of why I love it, and this is playing dress up. You know, I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen ravers and what they wear at festivals. I'll insert some pictures here, and you really can just like feel like, oh, what do I feel like being today? How do I feel like dressing up? What kind of crazy outfit can I cook up for myself? And it's like when you were a kid, again, all of this leads back to the inner child, but it's like when you're a child and you're playing dress up and you're, you know, 4 years old, putting your mom's heels on and wearing all these funky clothes, and not like, you don't have to match if you don't want to. You can throw all these accessories on if you want to. You don't have to dress up if you don't want to. And it's just the freedom to just go crazy. I mean, I can't even imagine what people would think if I walked around in my festival outfits in everyday life. Jewels all over my face, crazy things in my hair, and a million different accessories are on. And there's just something so freeing and so fun about being able to just play dress up. The number 4 reason why festivals are just so magical is, I kind of mentioned that we get to play around and there's all these things to do and letting your inner child free, but you get to play with your friends or your family, whoever you go with, and strangers. There are so many people that I know, I've never personally done this, but there are so many people I know that go to festivals solo. And they just meet so many. It's like when you're, again, a child and you go to a public playground, and by the end you are playing with all these kids all around the playground, and you make all these new friends, and you're enjoying the same things, you're playing the same games. You know, at a festival you're enjoying the same music. Like, you'll just be standing in the middle of a crowd, like jamming out to the music, and whoever the person is next to you, you just start dancing with them. And it's just so, it's, this video is not even gonna do what I'm trying to say justice, because it's just such a breathtaking, magical experience. And magic really is the best way to describe it. You know, number 5 is dancing. I mean, you will see the wildest, craziest, weirdest dance moves when you go to a festival. And sometimes it's a little weird at first when you know, maybe it's your first time on the scene and you don't really feel comfortable, but then you look around and see people being so weird, so authentic and goofy, and you just start to like let loose a little bit, and then you just let your body do what it wants to do without trying to control it. You know, you go out to like a club or whatever and you feel like everyone's looking at me and judging me. You don't feel that way at a festival. Festivals are the just ultimate freedom, okay? Like, dance, when they say like dance like no one's looking, like truly, this is where you can actually do that. And you know, sometimes I'll even catch myself when I'm at a festival, like not even consciously, but more like subconsciously, like controlling my movements, and then I like will realize and like, whoa, wait a second, no, be free, Sarah, be free. And you just do all the weird things, you know, you just be goofy. I'll put in this video here of a random video that a girl took me that I didn't know, and she came up to me after and said, I took this really cute video of you, do you want it? And that's the kind of kindness and generosity that the heart of this EDM culture exemplifies. I mean, it's just, it's so beautiful. The kindness is unmatched. It's you will not find this much concentrated kindness anywhere. And I'm like super convinced about that. Like, you can try to convince me otherwise, but you know, you won't. On a deeper level, you have festivals force you in a weird way to have this deeper bonding experience, not only with strangers, but with whoever you go with. And that's a big thing for me, where I wouldn't want to go to a festival solo, because whenever I go to a festival, like for example, this one, my younger brothers came and it was their first one ever. And you automatically will experience a deeper bonding with the people that you go. And I think the reason that is because of all the previous points that I've mentioned, where you guys are your authentic, raw selves, and you're taken out of your everyday environment, and you're in this playland with music and toys and art and cool snacks, and people are gifting each other little trinkets and candy, which is bracelets, and just all kinds of stuff. So you get to know each other on a more authentic and deep level without all of the noise of your regular outside everyday life. Okay, and on top of that, you know, you get a deeper bonding with yourself. That's something like, and that's kind of more of like the spiritual experience with this. You know, at this particular festival, the last morning they did something that's called a sound bath. And there were thousands of people there. It was at 11 o'clock in the morning. Everyone showed up. We got into the woods, and one of the DJs came on and took us through breath work and meditation, and we sat there and laid there. People were all over the place. I'll see if I can find a video and put it in. And there's people in hammocks and laying in the forest and standing up dancing. There's people sitting, there's people laying. And in this, you have a lot of realizations about yourself, and you bond deeper with yourself. And along with that, you often will face some inner demons. But the beauty about this safe space of a festival is that oftentimes you heal them. I always have healing experiences, and sometimes you don't even realize it until after the festival's over. But you know, and sometimes it's not even things you realize that needed to be healing until after, and you're like, wow, like I needed that. I always say that I need that. I like know when I need a festival, because I feel disconnected to myself. And it's just like a surefire way to like get back there with you. So yeah, you're gonna face some demons most likely, but it's like it's a beautiful experience, even though sometimes it hits you deep. I mean, people are always crying at festivals. It's not like thousands of people standing around like, well, unless you're at like a slander show or something. But but you know, I cry a lot at festivals. I'm just like, this is such a beautiful experience. I can't believe I'm dealing with this. You know, I didn't even realize this was something that I was, you know, subconsciously facing in my mind. And the thing is, and the next 2 points are kind of going to go together, and that is, one, shutting the rest of the world out. It's like when you're in a festival, it almost feels like the outside world doesn't exist. Like you are so immersed into the experience for days that the rest of the world is gone. Those problems, they do not matter when you are in a festival. And also, a lot of times you don't have like service, which can be frustrating at points when you're trying to like meet up with people. But it's also beautiful, because typically the only time you see anyone on their phones when you're at a festival is because they're like filming something or taking pictures or something like that. People aren't like standing around like scrolling on social media. That's not like a thing at festivals. And that's a really beautiful thing to see, a really beautiful experience. You know, and because of that, like, unless you're trying to get to a specific, you know, set or whatever at a specific time, you just do whatever you want at all times. Like, you might have in your mind, like, I want to go see this artist and this artist and this artist, but then you walk by another stage and you're like digging the vibes and like it sounds good, so you just walk over there. You know, oh, I feel like going to play on the playground. Oh, I'm passing this. Let me do this weird little, you know, telescope thing they have set up. Oh, there's an art gallery. Oh, let's wander into there. And there's just so much exploration on the exterior and on the interior. And, you know, festivals really are a transformative experience. And now I will say, they're not for everyone, but if you feel a calling to experience one, there's nothing, like, I'm getting emotional now. But it's like that beautiful that, like, even thinking about it, and it's this video is I like not even doing it justice. It's nothing, you know, think about it this way. My brothers have watched me go to festivals and raves for almost a decade and a half, and they didn't get it until they came with me. And they were like, wow, like, now I get it. And I was the same way. Before I got into the scene and I had friends that were listening to this kind of music, I was like, what is that crap? I was like, this is weird and it makes me feel strange. And then I went to a live show and you just get it. Like, you can't, the EDM rave culture is something that you really don't understand, and you can't understand until you are immersed into it. And a regular rave or a show that's like at a building is a cool experience, but it's not a festival. A festival it's life-changing. And I'm like dead ass, and I know that probably sounds crazy to people that like haven't been to one, but you cannot go to a festival, especially for the first time, and not have your life changed, and not have your outlook and perspectives on life change. And that's what the whole community, as far as, you know, you might see these words PLUR, P-L-U-R. It means peace, love, unity, and respect. And that is the like foundation of the community. And what's really cool is when you start to internalize that and you bring it into your everyday life, and and people always say, oh, it is a way of life. Think about those 4 terms: peace, love, unity, and respect. Think about if all of humanity outwardly projected those 4 things, and inwardly, you know, loving and uniting with yourself, and not being disassociated with yourself and who you are, but knowing yourself, loving yourself, respecting yourself, understanding yourself and others. I think that if the entire world got a little taste of how this culture really is, and like I said at one point, you know, there's always going to be your bad apples, or people that, you know, don't do things the way that they should be done, but I would say 97% of people that go to these things are in it for the right reasons. And my advice to you is that if you do decide to go to a festival and you've never been to one before, find someone either online or in your life who has before, and get some tips and tricks from them. They'll be so excited for you. Anytime anyone tells me they're going to their first like festival, I'm just over the moon, and it's such a beautiful culture. And I hope that if you've been kind of teetering on whether you wanted to go to a festival or not, and it's calling you, that hopefully this video convinced you. I'm always here to chat about raves and EDM, and I literally feel like it's half of my personality. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you guys have any questions about anything I said, or you want me to explain more. And you know, I just love you guys so much, and it's such a beautiful community, and I hope you found some value in this video. And don't forget to like and subscribe so we can hang out again next week. I love you so much, and I will see you then.